Holy Gospel according to Luke. At that very hour, some Pharisees came and said to Jesus, "Get away from here, for Herod wants to kill you." He said to them, "Go tell that fox for me. Listen, I'm casting out demons and performing cures today and tomorrow, and on the third day I finish my work. Yet today, tomorrow, and the next day I must be on my way, because it is impossible for a prophet to be killed outside of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. See, your house is left to you. And I tell you, you will not see me until the time comes when you say, 'Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord.'" The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. An old wooden barn once caught fire and burned to the ground. A number of the animals in the farm were killed. As the farmer was cleaning up after the fire, he came across the carcass of a mother hen who had died in the flames. When he picked up her body, 4 little chicks scurried away. This is the image that Jesus uses today. He laments over Jerusalem and wants to be like a mother hen gathering her chicks under her wings. Herod the fox is after the mother hen. But the hen is busy casting out demons and performing cures. The hen will not run from the fox. The hen, in the end, will outsmart the fox. These last few weeks, the world has seen another fox-like leader seeking to expand his power via military might. Vladimir Zelensky, the leader of the country that's been invaded, like Jesus, knows that he's a marked man. I saw a news clip in which he had a similar response to what Jesus said in response to the murder threat from Herod. He said, "If you want to find me, I'll be right here in Kiev doing my job." It's natural that we worry about things like a potential escalation of that war. So far for us, the main consequences in our country has just been a spike in gas prices. As followers of Jesus, we must not cower in fear to oppressors in our world, but continue in God's mission for us to show love and compassion for all our neighbors. Yes, we will welcome those refugees who have fled from the violence of war. We will seek peace and work for justice both near and far. We take our cues from Jesus, and we trust that in the end, the hen will outsmart the fox. Poet-pastor Steve Garnaas Holmes highlights this interplay between the fox and the hen. The fox prowls. The hen spreads her wings. The fox will kill. The hen gives life. The fox will live. The hen will die. The fox knows what he is doing, but not as well as the hen. The fox too will die, his killing unfinished. But on the third day, we will see what it is to choose to be the hen. Jesus chooses to be the hen, and as mother hen, he laments for Jerusalem. Now keep in mind, Jerusalem literally means city of peace. Jesus desires us to live in peace and heed all those prophets who call us back into right relationship with God, with one another, and with all creation. So I invite you to hear his lament this day as directed towards us and this whole world that God loves. And today we can also join our own voices in that lament. Now, I've been lamenting this week over the death and destruction I see on the news each night happening in Ukraine. I lament for both the Russians and the Ukrainians, for war really has no winners. Both sides will experience the loss of life, and the trauma of war will come home with many of the soldiers who survive. A week ago Saturday, one of the high school students that was volunteering at our farmers market sat at our advocacy table and painstakingly wrote out postcards in very small print to our congressional representatives and senators. He addressed his concern of our not moving fast enough with measures to abate a growing climate crisis. So I lament this day for future generations who may very well be living on a planet less able to sustain abundant life for all. I lament the widening gap between the rich and the poor, the inequities that exist between peoples, so often determined by their gender, religion, or the color of their skin. Today, I hear the intensity of Jesus' desire for us to follow in his ways of love through his image of a mother hen protecting her brood. But as he laments, the chicks aren't willing. We are the unwilling chicks. We're the ones who run from the protective wings of the hen. And we do this in a variety of ways. Perhaps we doubt that there really is a God who cares about us in this world. Perhaps we're quite self-sustaining. We've always found a way to take care of ourselves. So thanks, Jesus, but no thanks. We really don't need your wings. And perhaps we're so racked with worry and fear and shame that we think those wings are for others, but never for us. If any of those things are true, I invite you to hear the good news encapsulated in Jesus' lament. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how often I wanted to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, but you were unwilling. No matter how often we've been unwilling and have turned away, God never gives up. The wings of her love remain ever open and inviting. So hear Jesus' lament today as a desire for us to return to the Lord. It's a desire to reconcile this whole screwed up, wacky world. Can you hear his call to be gathered all together under God's outstretched wings spread wide on the cross? The hen chooses to give her life in order to give her chicks new life. As Jesus said, on the third day, he will finish his work. On the third day, we will see what it's like that he chooses to be that hen. Yes, each Lent we journey with Jesus on the road to Jerusalem and the cross that awaits him there. Yes, we journey with Jesus towards that third day. Herod-like bullies will seek the lives of all who threaten their power. Examples in history abound. Even before the Roman Empire, there was Alexander the Great in Greece, the Assyrian and Babylonian conquest before that. Spanish conquistadors and English colonists left the corpses of many native peoples in their wake. It doesn't take much imagination for us to see and name the Herods of our day, both near and far. It seems safer to run and hide than to be out on the road with Jesus, working for justice, seeking to change our world for the better. When we do so, we will always threaten the Herods of our world as we advocate for fair voting rights or point out our country's racist history. We threaten the status quo when we point out the injustice of our industrial prison complex or advocate for a living wage for all workers. Instead of running away, Jesus shows us how to embrace our own vulnerabilities and stand with the oppressed and the marginalized. On the day that Mamie Till Mobley received her murdered son Emmett's body home, she was in her bedroom crying out to God, and there had a vision where smoke seemed to fill the bedroom, and she heard a voice speaking to her. The voice said that this one child was taken from her, and yet she would receive thousands in return. Kind of sounds like God's promise to Abraham that we heard in our first lesson. The voice also told her that God's Son died that we might have life, but her Son died so that we might decide what kind of people we might be. She decided that night to have an open casket funeral. And this is the question that we ponder this day. Who and whose will we be? Will we be those who not only join in Jesus' lament for our world, but are transformed by it? Will we be those who trust that our mother hen, trust in that mother hen who's willing to die for her chicks, and trust that it will always outsmart the fox? Will we return to the Lord our God, who is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and abounding in love? It's a risky road, this road to Jerusalem, that we travel each Lent with Jesus. For we too will experience a death, the death of our old selves, so that when Jesus finishes his work on that third day, we and our whole world will be raised anew.